Warning, this podcast contains Kai.
Yeah, hey!
And spoilers.
Why does this podcast always contain spoilers?
So you touch yourself at night.
Whoa.
Ooh.
You asked.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for the Vampire Diaries, Season 6, Episode 21. I'll wed you in the golden summertime. I'm your host, Dom. With me, my co-host, Nikki.
Hi.
And my co-host, Mike.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
Why are you drinking blood?
Because it tastes good.
I thought you were a witch.
Does it matter?
Don't tell me you're one of those siphoners. That look. So, what did you guys think of this episode?
It was
Hi.
It was another special occasion, wedding, funeral, something, touching moment gonna happen episode. Kind of boring all the way up to the last couple minutes, and then I was like, yeah, it wasn't that boring, but I don't know, the
I was
episode...
going to say, the way Nikki eased into the camera, I don't think she found this episode boring.
I didn't find it as boring as other episodes of the similar type, but I'm sitting there like, oh, look, this is another happy moment. Everybody's going to be coming together, and there's going to be lovey-doveys, and it's going to be
Everybody except for
All
Jeremy.
about the happy moment.
Everybody except Jeremy.
Everybody except Jeremy.
I was hoping. Julie Plec is like, oh, we'll see Jeremy at weddings and funerals. And,
yeah.
Apparently, he doesn't give a crap about Joe or Alaric.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
he's doing this side project with Alaric, so...
Yeah. Alaric probably told him to stay the hell away.
Yeah, and especially because Bonnie's back, I was really hoping to see Jeremy just for the interaction with Bonnie. That's really all I wanted out of that. I don't care whether he was there or not. I want to see the interaction between the two. So did not get that. But we did get a lot of Damon's look into the future here. And I'm curious if this is the scenes that they were talking about. They said the finale, so I feel like this isn't the jump that they were talking about. But I couldn't help but think of it,
It seemed way more significant the way they talked about it in the finale.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, in this one we got to see multiple versions of jumps into the future of Damon's life, this is 1 year, this is 2 years, this is 5 years, this is 20 years, whatever. I don't know the exact numbers, but, Stefan kept getting into his head and he's showing him what this is going to be like. And I love the fact that despite there was like a 17-year jump or something at one point, it was a significant jump, they still hadn't aged a day. And I was like, that's really weird. Because
it was human. 2 years into her residency, and then the 7th year, which is the year after her residency, and then the one flash forward was of Damon alone because Elena had died.
Yeah, but still, I think it was like 17 years something, because there was a 7-year one, so it was longer than that.
I don't know how long it was, but,
3.
Another 3, yeah.
So it
There
was
was
10
only
years.
3.
It's 10. I mean, they could have done something to make them look a little bit older, but,
I mean, really, how old was Damon when he was turned into a vampire? He was, 20?
It's supposed to be, I think, 22 or 23.
22, 23.
Yeah.
Right, 22, 23. 10 years, that makes him 32, 33. He, some people barely look like they age between those two times.
I guess.
There's an example.
Elena, on the other hand, was like 19, Like, she's in her first year of college, she's 19, so...
Right.
7 years, she should have aged. I don't know.
I don't know.
But what did you guys think of Damon's little peeks into the future? Do you think they were pretty accurate?
To be honest, yes, I think they were very accurate.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I was going to say, they seem just like...
What
Stefan,
do you mean?
I don't know. Dom's pointing it out to be more to this. I was going to say, it seems like it's Stefan's worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be worst case.
So yeah.
To make a point, has to be worst case.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was I mean, who knows where it could have went? It could have been far different.
To be completely honest, I don't think it would be any different. Yeah, maybe Elena not dying, at that whatever, but he had to show him like what would happen if.
Mhm.
But everything else, like, okay, so Damon owns a bar, whatever, and he's gonna drink because he drank heavily as a vampire, so he's gonna drink as a human. And that's gonna affect him in his life, and then Elena's not around because she's at school, she's at the hospital, so he's lonely. He can't do things that he used to do. He can't just go kill someone for fun, like, so I see Damon living almost that exact life.
Yeah. And I see Elena getting fed up with it because she's trying to make a career, something out of herself, and he's just getting drunk. He may own a bar, but he's just, in her eyes, she's just being aloof and drunk and lazy, and she's working hard. She's tired.
Yep. And then you even see him, complain about the bar, and Lena's like, well, then sell it,
Yeah.
like, they even get into that little bickerment. And, I totally see that playing out almost identically to what happened.
Yeah. I honestly, Stefan outdid himself.
He did. And what do you think Damon would do himself in at that point?
You mean X-nay himself?
Yeah.
I don't know. Damon's pretty stubborn.
Damon is pretty stubborn. I don't think he would ixnay himself, as you put it.
Because, his options are living through the misery of now growing old. He said in the first season, like episode 1 or 2, he loves being the eternal stud. So Damon is now going to be aging. The entire reason that he turned is gone. And he can never be a vampire again because we've already seen... This is a big discussion we've had, and actually I want to go back and find out exactly who now. We had a viewer in our podcast last week actually brought this to my attention, and we were under the impression the entire time that if Damon took the cure, he would die, and that is not the case.
No, because what happened to Catherine? The cure was sucked out of her.
Yeah, she took the cure. Yeah, she took the cure, and Silas sucked the cure out of her. So she
that was it.
Died because the cure was no longer in her.
Right. So that's something we were talking about. Oh, Damon can't take the cure; he would die. That's definitely not the case there. It was SXE Tim. And he said Silas drank her blood, took all the blood out of her. That's why she was aging, because the cure was no longer in her body now.
Right. I forgot entirely about that.
Yeah, so did I. I blocked out that whole season.
Because The Travelers was such a dragging, and it was a dreadful season.
Yeah.
For that to happen in the middle is just, it's bad timing.
People are Catherine storyline was the best part about that season.
It was.
But I still overlooked it because of just how aggravated I was with the season in general. But yeah, so Damon realistically could take the cure here. But now knowing what we know about Catherine's fate, if Damon was to do this, he cannot undo it.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if there was some kind of, if Esther was still alive, for example, and she could come up with some spell, I don't even think that would work. Maybe with the other side existing. So, if they brought the other side back. But even then, I don't think it would, because Damon taking the cure makes him human again. So if he dies, he's not going to the supernatural world.
Well, there was that bit with Bonnie and Lily, and they were talking about loopholes.
Right.
With every bit of magic, there is a loophole.
Right.
So, there is a possibility there is a loophole about the cure.
Yeah. Possibility. I'm just trying to look at it from a realistic point. The only way I was thinking was the supernatural world, but even that,
no.
I don't even think that would work. So, the only way would be to bring the supernatural world back and maybe have Damon die wearing the Gilbert family ring. But even then, I don't
think
know.
that worked anymore because of...
Right, but that's why I said if the other side was still around.
Okay.
But even then, I don't know how that would work because of the cure, and it's
It's a nightmare.
It is. The logistics of that are insane. But another theory we had last week was who was going to be the wedding planner, and we nailed it.
Caroline.
So,
Well, they had a wedding planner, but she had the flu.
right. But me and Nikki were just talking last week because you weren't there, Mike. But we were talking of how Caroline's back now. Her emotions are back on, and just in time, like she organized every party there is. Like, there's no way she's not gonna try to take over the wedding.
Yep.
And
Well,
here she is.
Just in the nick of time. And I gotta say, I love Joe as the crazy, panicky, pregnant, about to get married lady.
Mm-hmm.
No, I find that superbly annoying.
Really?
Yeah.
How
I mean, yes, I understand you're stressed and everything. I mean, I probably would be, but I wouldn't, no. I wouldn't faint from anxiety. I wouldn't be that bad.
But
that's me.
I don't necessarily think it was anxiety. I think that was Kai cloaked himself and was fucking with her the entire time.
It's possible.
Because we've seen what he could do with magic.
Yeah.
And we find out at the end of the episode, he's there. So, I don't think he just conveniently walked in at the end. I think he's been following her around. So.
Well, no, I mean, it wasn't until later because Lily and Enzo went to that dock, and that's when they came in. It was dark out, so it was during... He did get there during that time frame. I don't think it was during the day when she was passing out and things like that.
I think her passing out might have had something to do with Kai, breaking out. But that was my thought. I'm like, okay, because...
She's not linked to him anymore.
No, you're right. She's not. So that shoots that down. But I initially thought she goes down. I'm like, and that's got to be Kai breaking out of the other realm. And then as the episode went on, I'm like, I guess not.
No, I mean, with all the things that were on her shoulders, yes, the possibility of passing out is there. It can happen.
Because look, she's panicking.
She wasn't eating. She wasn't hydrated. She's pregnant. She's panicking. She's stressed. There's all of these factors that can make a person black out.
Yeah, no, it definitely can. And just Kai alone, like, I know how I am, right? I'm enough to give somebody tremendous anxiety. So, I look at Kai, who's probably about 0.1 times worse than me, and, yeah. Now, Kai's like 100 times me.
Yeah, he's a prick.
So
because you wouldn't just show up invisible and stab a bride at her wedding.
No.
He wasn't stabbing the bride. He was stabbing the twins.
Right. He's trying to off the twins.
Yeah.
There you go. That.
Because he's worried that he's no longer going to be... even though he's got 19 years, he's still getting it early.
Yeah. I mean, Alaric if you stab her in the belly, there's a chance that she's never going to be able to have kids again. So,
that is true. Guess. However, she's not the last remaining member of the Gemini Coven. We saw... Not even Liv, but we saw how many people from the Gemini Coven showed up to this wedding?
A few? A number?
Yeah, a number. There was many.
There was more than regular people from Rick's side.
Yep. And we got to see Liv, which was cool. And her and Tyler kind of detracted from the wedding a bit, but it had to be done. Had to. They couldn't sweep it under the rug and just, smile at each other and, go about it. They had to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, the elephant in the room, indeed. And until Liv said that, Joe's my sister, I actually sat back in my chair and went, oh, right. Why did I forget that? What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Like, I keep forgetting that Joe was, a Gemini witch and all that stuff.
I've been through this crazy roller coaster of emotion, and I don't think I'm tall enough to ride my own roller coaster. My own emotional roller coaster, I should say. But I came in hating Liv, right? And then there was this point when, like, her backstory and everything was really explained, and I was like, oh, I actually like Liv now. And then her and Tyler start hooking up, and she's back to being a bitch again, and it was an unjustified bitch, and I was like, I don't like Liv anymore. And then I was really excited to see Liv, and then her and Tyler started fighting again. I was like, can you just go away again? So it's just like I'm just with Liv. It's just like I'm done.
I'm done. Yep. I agree with you there.
I'm not tall enough to ride my own emotional roller coaster.
No, I didn't even bother acknowledging Liv, pretty much. I was just like, I don't even care.
Yeah. So, Kai shows up, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. We didn't see the Vampy Witches.
That was my question.
There.
Yeah, we did not see the heretics or the siphoners, whatever you want to call them.
He obviously let Lily out, and she's thinking they're getting back, or they're already back. So, my question is, did Kai just, get himself out and lie to her, like everybody else has been doing?
No. He probably heard the story from them that they were like him to begin with, and then they became vampires. To him, that would be intriguing and an ally.
Right, and he would be intrigued by the whole process, because then he's like, I could draw off myself infinitely?
Can I call something right now?
Sure.
I'm going to make a bold prediction for the finale. They're going to kill Kai off. But he died with vampire blood in his system. And the last thing we see is Kai waking up as a vampire siphoner.
That's possible. Then what about the other 6?
They might actually kill them off. They're not really super important to the story.
No, they haven't even shown any of their faces. They showed the
Right.
one guy's face.
Right, I mean, they are important to the story, whatever, because, we learned Kai is not the only one. They were a big, tremendous part of Lily. But if they deal with Lily, if she's kind of like, yeah, Kai's the big bad. He's been the big bad, but he's not the only one, right? We had all the siphoners and Lily kind of distracting us for a couple episodes now. Why Kai has been dispatched. But I don't know. I really just want Kai back in the next season. And I'm thinking if Kai dies, the link to him and Luke will be broken. And then we'll get full-fledged Kai as the evil summoner witch guy back. And we'll get the Kai that we love to hate. But we actually just completely love. So, I haven't liked Kai as much since he merged with Luke. Just having that split personality, I don't like it nearly as much.
True, but he did kind of go... He might have gone back to that, his original self.
I don't know. I'm worried just because Luke, it's not like Luke's going away.
It's not like Luke's gone away, but would, Luke have really stabbed a couple of unborn kids? Or would would Kai with feelings have really been able to bring himself to do that?
Probably. I think he'd feel bad about it after, but yeah, I see him doing it.
Okay, if you say so. I don't know. I just have a feeling it's back to the old Kai.
It's a moment of self-preservation.
Yeah, true.
Because those are basically what can kill him, and to a degree, Luke kind of knows what that is. So,
very true. You're right.
Not saying Luke would 100% be on board, because I don't think he would, but I think it's more like Luke's a little fraction split, like maybe 10% of him is like, yeah, do it, it's enough. So I don't know. I just want the old Kai back.
Everybody wants the old Kai back.
I don't know. He seemed pretty old Kai today. Or in this episode, anyways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just looking. Like, you said they're going to deal with Lily and probably the siphoners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, and there's no word of where she's gonna be after the finale.
Right.
So it's up in the air.
Yeah.
She could come back or
I mean, it's
could.
kind of like the fate of Enzo. Like, we didn't know what was going to go on with Enzo from last season to this season. And looking back on it, I think we discussed this at the finale of last season, and we're like, you know what? Enzo was kind of the best thing that came out of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I liked Enzo for a bit, and then when they went off on this whole Sarah Gilbert storyline, I was like, I don't even know what you're doing anymore, Enzo. But then when they brought Lily in, I was like, you know what? I actually kind of like this again. So Enzo's another one that's taking me on this weird roller coaster this season too. But I'm reserving judgment because I know that the Sarah Gilbert storyline is not finished.
It's not finished.
So I'm pretty sure we're going to deal with her in the finale too. I don't know if there's enough time to squeeze that all in. If they don't, it's going to be next season that they deal with it. But it's just like, it was a weird place to leave it. So I would not be surprised to see Sarah show up in the finale.
I agree. It was kind of an odd place to just leave that off. It didn't feel concluded.
Yeah. So Kai, in his grand entrance, knocked out Elena.
Well, yeah, after, screeching everybody's ears and blowing the place up.
Right.
Yeah.
So the status that leaves us with, is Elena alive or is she dead?
She's not dead. And the only reason I know that is because and it's not because they show her alive in next week's promo. Okay?
They didn't.
But I'm going to
They
quote
didn't
next
show her
week's
alive
promo.
in the promo.
Right, and I know she's alive is because they made this whole dramatic thing of Damon holding her unconscious body, panicking, and then Caroline and Stefan panicking, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're just playing up the drama. She's definitely fucking alive.
No, like I said, if she's gonna die, it's gonna be near the end of the season finale. Like, it's gonna be near the end. They're freaking out now because now she's unconscious, but they're gonna get her to a hospital or whatever because vampire blood's not gonna help her.
Nope.
They have to take her to a hospital, get her fixed up, and she's just not gonna be able to recover from her injuries, and that's that.
I mean, we kind of already saw the same thing go down with Caroline's mom, where vampire blood only made things worse. This kind of situation, but it probably wouldn't make it worse. It just, she'd be
nullified.
Didn't Caroline or Catherine cough up the blood or whatever? But that was when she was sick too, so I don't really know. I don't know how the blood would work. I think it'd just be like a normal person eating blood at that point. It wouldn't do anything.
Nope, wouldn't do shit.
So, yeah, we could do that. And, yeah, we know that there's final scenes, of Elena. She's put on Instagram, her, a picture of her and Stefan, the final scene that they filmed together. For all we know, they may not be real-life scenes. They may be, somebody entering thoughts and dream kind of thing. We don't really know. So
or
I'm not going to rule out the fact that she might be dead right now.
It could be her dying thoughts. She's slipping off, she's slipping away, and those are her final thoughts, just nice, comforting dreams of me happy in the future.
Because there's really only two ways that this can go, and more than the obvious she's dead or alive. Either she's dead, and Damon is not going to take the cure because she's dead, or when she's knocked in this coma and they don't know if she's going to live, then Damon's going to feel all this grief and realize what it's going to be like to be human, and if she dies, what he's actually going to feel, and decide, I'm not going to be human, and send her away. Those are the only two outcomes I see out of this, and I'm going to go with the second outcome as the most likely. So
I'm going to stick with you on that one, because I don't think they're just going to straight up, she's dead.
Right.
No, they're gonna ease into it, but either way, if she dies, I'm happy.
I don't think she's gonna die. I think she's gonna go off, live her life, and that's the end of it. And I don't think we're, only because of what we were told last season for the finale, that Julie Plec has the ending in mind, and it involves the three main characters, and they said because the other side is gone, something will have to be altered. to make that final scene exist. So, to me, that is one character dies, one character lives, another character lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see Elena as being the one that was dead. I see it being Stefan or Damon, because, spoiler-ish thing, one of them dies in the books and stays dead. So I think they're kind of basing it off that to a degree. Yes, we know that they're not the same. We understand that. But I think they're still going to go with something very similar. I don't see it as Elena. I don't. I see Elena just going off and living her happy human life. And that's the end of her story. So
We'll find out next week. I mean,
does it really matter to you that much, Nikki, if she's alive and we never see her again
We'll see her again.
in the finale? But even if she dies, we're going to see her again in the finale. So does it really matter if she's dead or if she's off living a life that we're not going to see? Does it really matter to you that much? You just want her to die for the satisfaction of knowing she's dead? Is that what it is?
Yes.
at least she admitted
Well,
it.
at least you're honest about it.
Yep.
So, but that leaves us with Caroline and Stefan. You know, where do you think they stand?
Exactly where Caroline told him. She's like, I'm not ready for this commitment. I want to get a handle on my life, so bye.
Yep.
Do you think Stefan's gonna accept that?
He's going to give her space because she asked for it.
But he also
And
made a
he-
promise to
he
her
feels
mom.
for her. He does.
He
But
also made a promise to her mom.
yes, he's going to take care of her. He's going to protect her.
Right, so he can't give her a lot of space.
He doesn't have to be smoochy to take care of her.
Didn't
Right.
say smoochy.
But he's gonna give her space, and by space that means, not be like all like, I love you.
Yeah, that's what
He
she's
hasn't been
She's
that
like,
at all yet, though.
I'm over
he was
exaggerating.
holding her hand and rubbing her shoulder. Yes, but she's like, I can't handle the commitment right now. I don't want to deal with that. So he doesn't have to be like that towards her. He can be a friend. He can help her. Maybe she's going to go back to school and she has to write papers. He can help her write the papers.
True.
He can be a friend and give her space.
So Stefan has moved from the Bay area to the friend zone. Is that what you're trying to say?
Friend zone is just something that people use because they feel like they're being victimized when someone dismisses them.
My whole joke was the pun of the word Bay.
I don't give a shit.
I think it flew over your head. The Bay Area. Like the San Francisco Bay area.
They're not even near a freaking bay.
That was the joke.
Yeah.
Bacon and eggs.
Bacon and eggs?
BAE. Bacon and eggs.
Oh my god.
We don't need pancakes anymore. We have bacon and eggs.
But no, I mean,
What just happened?
Food.
Dom derailed the train is what happened.
Choo choo. You're killing me here.
Let's just keep on chugging along. So, I can't even. How do you recover after that? So, I guess, what are your guys' expectations for the finale?
I expect Kai to torment some people. It's going to be a Bonnie versus Kai thing. Bonnie's gonna be like, ah, shit, and Kai's gonna be like, ah, yeah.
It almost, to me, seems like Bonnie is taking it more personally than Joe is.
Yeah.
And that's a little odd to me. I understand that Bonnie was tortured by Kai for like 6 months,
Right.
while she was in the prison world, but Kai basically ruined Joe's entire life. So.
Bonnie's been overreacting since she got back from the prison world.
It's true.
So I don't know where they're going with her character. Like I used to love Bonnie
Me
so
too.
much, and now I'm just kind of like disgusted with how they've written her for this
Well,
part of the season.
see, I don't blame them though,
No, I,
because
I mean, I understand,
if you
but
take Bonnie and like put yourself in a situation where you're isolated by yourself, you can't like sit down and play Nintendo or like there's nothing like that. The internet doesn't exist. Like you're trapped. There's nothing to do. You don't have a computer, like the internet's not a thing. Like there's literally nothing to do, and you're reading the same newspaper over and over and over again because it's only one day. It's not like the days are changing. You have new things to read. You only have so many books in front of you, whatever. And you probably can't get any of them in because you're sharing the prison world with this one guy that's trying to make your life miserable. So she has just snapped. Like, her sanity is gone. So now 6 months of that on end without stopping, she finally gets out, and to get reacquainted with the world again, it's not the same. Like, it's definitely not the same Bonnie. So I think the character is written brilliantly for that reason, but it's not the Bonnie we know and love, and that's the conflict issue we have.
no, I do understand that she went through a lot of stuff. That would change anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But for her to hang on this one particular thing, the one thing, and it throws her off when it comes to the people she loves, her friends. They mention him, and she rips down their throat with her freaking violent words. She just rips out their jugular. And they're sitting there like, oh my god, what did I do? All I did was mention his name. They could have just said K wrong, and then Kai came out and said, but no, she's gonna freaking, eat them alive. Like, she's just overreacting to that point. I mean, they have to talk about Kai because they have Joe there, they have Liv there. It isn't a thing. It is a thing that they have to worry about. But
no, I agree.
Every time she's just like, I want to kill you for mentioning him.
I agree, but at the same point, she's trying to get over it, and with it being a constant reminder in her face of like the one thing that's really going to piss her off. I understand it's got to be talked about. They have to discuss it. I don't blame her at all. I think she's actually completely justified, because of the situation that she's in. It's like the same thing every time I mention the word bae. You just go into this rage. So
I don't know.
I'm just saying that she's very violent to the people she loves. She doesn't need to be that violent. She doesn't.
No, but she's also under an extremely traumatic experience. So
yeah,
I mean, if she went and got herself diagnosed with PTSD,
which she definitely has.
She definitely has some form of that.
But she hasn't, like, she probably knows she has it too. She just doesn't want to.
The other thing is, how do you exactly get that diagnosed when you're like, oh yeah, so I was trapped in this 1990 prison world, and I was only there with this other guy. There's no real way to but when you go in to get that diagnosed, you have to describe the situation that brought you to where you were. There's no way around it.
You don't have to
Otherwise, you won't be able to get diagnosed.
Say you were locked up with this person, and he stabbed you, and he did this to you, and he did that to you. He left you alone, thought you were you could change it so that it didn't involve magic.
Probably. What they would probably have to do is get, like, Damon or Stefan to compel a doctor so she could actually sit down and talk about it for real, because then you start getting into the logistics of, oh, there's no police report filed, you should do that. And, yeah.
I mean, people live with PTSD because they were touched wrong when they were 2-3 years old, and they don't say anything until they're 40.
Yeah.
There's no police report then, but they still get diagnosed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think the immediate thing Bonnie is thinking about trying to get help right now. I think she's just trying to get a grip on her own life. And
she can't get a grip if she doesn't get help.
I think what's going to help Bonnie is to kill Kai. Once Kai is gone, the fuel to the fire is gone.
And two wrongs don't make a right.
Ooh.
I understand your love for Kai. I love Kai too. But he's got to go at some point.
He does at some point. He either has to go, or the little spark of Luke left in him has to take over and he be either good guy or no, he has to go. That's not going to happen.
No. Because even when he was good, when Luke was taking over, nobody was accepting it. Nobody believed it. So it didn't matter.
Throw Kai into a wood chipper.
Nikki's just mad because she doesn't want Kai to leave ever.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm looking up his shit. I'm gonna see if he's in next fucking season, alright?
We don't know. They haven't announced
know.
any casting information for next season yet. And they won't until probably about halfway through the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not in.
You're
He's
not
already
gonna know.
working on another show.
So what? Plenty. Look at what's his name? The guy who plays Elijah. He's working on originals, and he was in a completely different show.
He was a doctor on another show, yeah.
Yes, at the same exact time. So just because someone's working on another show does not mean that they're completely out.
It's true. So, next week,
Yeah.
the episode is called I'm Thinking of You All the While, which is the season finale. Goodbye, Mystic Falls. In the aftermath of Alaric and Joe's powerful nuptials, things take
That's
a
a way to put it.
Huh?
I'm sorry, I had powerful nuptials. That's definitely a way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Things take a drastic turn when an uninvited guest shows up, leaving Elena in terrible jeopardy.
I don't
That
know.
already that kind of already happened.
Yes, I know. Despite Matt's advice to leave town to protect herself, a defiant Bonnie takes matters into her own hands after finding herself on the receiving end of a twisted plan. As Stefan and Caroline reach an emotional crossroad in their relationship, a reunion with Liv leaves Tyler faced with a decision that could change his life forever, aka leaving.
Bye, Tyler.
See you, Tyler.
Miss you.
Is he gonna run off with Liv and have babies?
Maybe.
And then we get
Meanwhile,
wolf witches.
Lily's reckless actions cause Stefan to realize the lengths to which his mother would go to reunite with her family. Finally, after a devastating chain of events, Damon is forced to make the most difficult decision of his life. And I'm worried that the season is going to end with Damon taking the cure.
I don't think it is. Damon is never going to want to be human. And as
At that
He
moment,
wants to be human now. Whether
Right.
or not that's what he wants in the long run is
And
kind
that-
of blinded at the moment.
and that is what Stefan and Elena tried to hammer in.
Yeah,
And
Damon
I
didn't really like the fact that he found out that Elena was in on this.
I think it was pretty well
he
effective.
he still. There was that part in the barn. I'm thinking he wasn't that distraught about it.
Right, no, he wasn't. But at first, when he first heard it, he didn't look too happy.
I don't know.
And when he saw, the old couple come home
That
at
was
Stefan's
a
neighbors,
moment.
that was adorable.
It was.
Like they're grumpy with all that, and they still love each other. That's like,
It's like she threw
Yeah.
a pop can at him or something.
mm-hmm. He's not going to take it.
I'm worried because I'm trying to think of, what is going to be the big thing that everybody's going to ooh and ah over and be the talk of this whole season. And, so we had a couple seasons ago, the big ending was, Elena's a vampire. And everybody's like, oh my god, how is this going to change Elena? And it was a big discussion point. And there was a lot of different stuff. Julie was even like, oh, Elena's going to become Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I remember this. This was in an interview. And she's going to go around and hunt down supernatural creatures. This is something that was discussed by Julie Plec. They clearly changed their mind with that. They actually dabbled with it a little bit. That you could see that they were kind of going that route. But then they quickly shifted gears. So, I don't know. I'm worried because I see Damon actually taking the cure being the oh my god moment of the show where everybody's talking about it.
I don't want Demon as a human.
None of us do.
I don't.
None of us do.
It would make for an interesting season, but he'd be too mopey.
It would make for an interesting season finale.
I don't see
I
it.
can't say it's going to make it for an interesting season, but it's going to leave you with that, oh my god, what? You're going to end the show, like, if that is the final scene, Damon taking the cure, you're going to be like, what?
And then I'm gonna go into next season being all like,
I'm not even gonna go into next season.
I'll watch the first episode.
No, seriously. I'm saying this for a lot of shows. I'm putting down ultimatums. I'm saying if this fucking happens, I'm never watching these shows again. And that's gonna be one of these things. If Damon decides
I'd
to
be
become human,
careful. I'd
I'm
be
done.
careful what you're issuing with an ultimatum here.
Hey, the less shows I watch, the more I have to do during the week, so.
I don't even know.
I don't want Damon to be human. That's just stupid.
None of us do.
Anybody's gonna be human.
None
Makes
of us do,
sense.
but you said it yourself. Loopholes. So he may not stay human forever.
I think something crazy is gonna happen with Elena, and he's gonna be like, "I can't take the cure anymore because she's
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm really hoping. But I could see it going the other way too. But as you said, all magic has loopholes. There could be a loophole for the cure. So I don't want to jump to conclusions. And I'm in the same boat with you. I don't want Damon to be human, and that would kind of ruin the show for me. But I'm not gonna stop watching over it because
ruin it for me.
of the fact that you just said loophole. So I have faith that the show is going to end up doing the right thing. It's not like this. If he takes the cure, all of a sudden he's gonna age and like he's gonna stop being whatever. Like he's still gonna be around. Everything's gonna be fine. There's time to find that loophole. So,
Yep.
we will see. You guys have anything else before we toss in our finale before the finale? This is the last chance to toss in finale predictions.
No.
I think Alaric's gonna go on a rampage, and you know what? The it's been done before, but oh shit moment. I think Rick's actually gonna die.
If Rick dies, I'm not watching anymore.
Well, whatever. I don't see him. Like, I mean, I could say I'd rather him die than see Damon go human.
Mm-hmm.
But that possibility he could die. I mean, I would be in a rage after somebody came and stabbed my soon-to-be wife and my babies.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, though, like, I don't like Rick as much since he came back. I loved Rick in the earlier seasons when he was just the vampire hunter. He was badass. And then he got even more badass when he became an original. And then he gets written out of the show. And I think that's what hurt me the most. Is I was just like, I want to see Alaric as an original. Like, he was so badass before, now he's even more badass. And then they, like, strip him of that, like, almost immediately after coming back. And I was like, I don't care about you anymore, Alaric. So.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, that...
So, to be honest, if something tragic happened to Alaric, I really wouldn't care either way. So. I think that about wraps this up. Nikki, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter. At LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
Mike, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitter. At Thilladren. THILLADREN.
Dom, where can the people find you? Oh, you can find me down below as Phenomenal. PHENOMEDOM. Thank you for asking, Dom. Oh, you're welcome, Dom. You... Dom, where can the people find us? Oh, you can find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, Space, and right here on YouTube @/ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, we will see you later.
Farewell.
All I can think of is Jurassic Park. Well, hello, John. Well, hello, John. Hello, John.
Killing me here. Hello, John.
Dino DNA.